Hi everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing the mesh CS-426 Longline corset made by Orchard Corset. Now there's a funny story to go along with this particular corset. About 3 years ago I was asked by Orchard Corset to test some of the samples of the first mesh 426. At the time I was wearing a size 22 and you can see me wearing it in this video. I'll link it right up there for you. And you can see how curvy it is. So today I'm not doing this particular corset much justice. I didn't hear any news about the mesh 426 Longline coming out for many years, so I thought that maybe they had scrapped the idea. So I just sold my sample. And then this year I saw that they did release the 426 mesh and it is for sale, and all of a sudden, oh, I don't have my sample anymore, what am I going to review? But of course it's been a few years, I've gained a few pounds, I was back in school, and I went and I purchased the size 26. Now, since I have finished my exams for school, I lost 15 pounds in the last 2 months. Additionally, this says it's a size 26 in the label, but it's actually mislabeled and it's in reality a size 28. So I was able to just wrap this corset around me and like hook up the busk without even untying it in the back, because it's essentially maybe 1.5 inches different in the waistline compared to my natural waist. So I'm clearly not doing this corset much justice in terms of the curviness, but hopefully you can see from the picture that I posted up there how curvy that is actually supposed to look on a person. So I guess I'll just do the twirl for old time's sake. Here's the front and the side and the back and the other side. So the center front of this corset is 13.5 inches. It's a little bit longer than the 426 corset that's just made from regular satin or cotton twill. This is just a little bit longer. It's also longer in the princess seam. It's 11 inches here as opposed to the regular 10.5. And even though I have a fairly long torso, I've been working out my legs a lot and my quads have been developing. So now when I sit down, I have a little bit less length in my torso before the bottom of the corset hits my thigh. So just look out for that sort of thing, because even though you might have a quite long torso, like in your skeleton, your torso is quite long. If you have larger or more developed thighs, that might affect how you're able to sit in longline corsets. Also, in the center back here, it is 13.5 inches there as well. In terms of the rib spring and the hip spring, the top here is 7 inches larger than the waistline, and the lower hips here are 14 inches larger than the waistline. Here's the corset laid flat on the table, and for the materials, because this is a mesh corset, it is a single layer of this fishnet style, I believe it's cotton mesh, and then the boning channels here are made from cotton twill, and you can see that the boning channels are both on the outside and on the underside here. This is what the Orchard Corset label looks like on this particular corset, and the fiber contents, it says 100% cotton, both the outer shell and the lining, and dry clean only, and size 26 here, even though it's actually a size 28 when I measured it. Turning the corset to the side here, if this is made with the same pattern as the original 426 pattern, then it's a 6-panel pattern. So it's 12 panels, 6 on each side. But you can see here in the size 28, they put down additional boning channels in the middle of the panels. So it looks like there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 panels on one side of this corset, or a 20-panel corset. But that's just because of the visual effect of having those boning channels in the middle of the panels. And as you get into even larger sizes, like the size 40, you will expect to have even more boning channels, and it will look like it has more panels. The waist tape is clearly visible. Oh, you can see the size 28 there as opposed to the size 20. So yeah, you can very clearly see the waist tape on the inside of this corset. So it is sewn onto these sort of the internal side, but it's still sandwiched in between the lining of these boning channels here. And it's a full waist tape, 1 inch wide, made of grosgrain ribbon that stretches right from the front busk all the way to the back grommets. The binding is made from bias strips of matching black cotton. It's machine stitched on the outside and also on the underside here. Additionally, there are 6 garter tabs, 3 on each side. This Modesty panel is 5 inches wide, so I would say about 4 inches or maybe 3.5 inches of usable space once you fold it over the grommets there. It is unstiffened and finished in this black cotton on both sides, and it's stitched to one side of the corset. If you don't like Modesty panels, or if you think it looks a little strange under the mesh, you're welcome to remove this with a seam ripper. And I believe using a seam ripper, you can also remove the tags in the back here if you find that it's showing through your clothing, if you're wearing this corset on the outside of your clothing. And there's no front Modesty placket by the Busk in this particular corset. The Busk in this corset is 11.5 inches long. It's a standard flexible busk, 1/2 inch on each side, and has 5 loops and pins with the last 2 a little bit closer together. Like I said before, Orchard corsets, busks, tend to be a little bit on the stiffer side compared to some other conventional standard flexible busks that I have tried in other brands of corsets in the past. This corset has a total of 22 bones, 11 on each side. As you can see, they're single boned on the seams and also single boned on the middle of the panels. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are all 1/4 inch wide spiral steel bones. And then there are 2 flat steel bones sandwiching the grommets on each side for a total of 11 on each side, or 22 total. There are a total of 24 grommets in this corset, 12 on each side. They are size 00 with a small to medium flange around them. They are equidistantly spaced and finished in silver. On the underside, you can see that they all have washers. There are splits in every one of these grommets, but they don't tend to catch on the laces. The laces themselves are quite hardy. It is just black, flat shoelace style lacing, nylon. So they have a tiny bit of spring, but as you use it more, that spring tends to stretch out and go away a little bit. It's very hard to break, it's very strong, and it's also long enough in this corset. Like most of the other corsets from Orchard Corset, I find that the bow is set a little bit too high, higher than I prefer, but this is very easy to modify. And if you don't like the shoelace style lacing, it can also be switched out for a ribbon or some other lacing of your choosing. The mesh CS-426 by Orchard Corset is available in black mesh and also beige mesh, and it's sold in sizes from 18 up to 40. From sizes 18 to 32, I believe it's $72, and for sizes 34 up to 40, it's a few dollars more at $75. I believe one of the reasons for the increase in price for the larger sizes is because they add more bones and more boning channels evenly distributed throughout the waistline as you get up to the larger sizes. And this concludes my review of the 426 mesh longline corset. Once again, I apologize that I'm not filling out this corset the way that it's supposed to be filled out, but hopefully you get the idea. And I hope you learned a little bit more about the construction and the style of this corset, enough that you would be able to make a more educated decision. Thank you guys for watching this review. If you liked this video or you learned anything new, please click that like button below. And if you have this corset, let me know how you like it in a comment down below. I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye.